This is like part 2 of the 1 hour trading because I accidentally hit the stop button and I refused to splice shit together and re-upload it. So right when I cut off the last video, we were selling up into this thing and I said I was going to sell very hard up into here. Also, I'm going to presuppose that you are the kind of guy that's willing to sell up here because if you waited long enough, we came all the way back into this fucking hole for the dead cat bounce. Okay. Rinse and repeat. We're buying now in this plunge. We bought at the market. We bought at the market. I already know the trade that I should have been in. If you don't know the trade you just should have been in, or you're supposed to get in, next is down here. So the no-nonsense Forex guy triggered me again. I'm watching the Dirty Dozen. He's going to get into this material that's kind of wackadoodle. Because sometimes goobers are right. He's saying that if you go against the banks are out to get you and everybody's long, that they're short, the retail traders are feasting off the retail traders. This is just complete mythery. This is all myth. There are people making money on a 15-minute basis. There's people making money on a 3-day basis. There's people that loaded into the top and scaled into a top unbeknownst to you. There are so many people trading so many different time frames on this chart. This big stall out up here, and not to mention that the low volatility windows each day from dotted line to dotted line is the key situation. This is the volatility of that day, right? This is the volatility of the next day. Yeah, you could have some fucking indicator draw it for you, but when you see this day, you just say to yourself, holy fuck. And I wonder what tripped the wire here. Could it be this was the catalyst? Yes, people did scalp that little mini auction inside the bigger fucking tremendous auction, which was what happens when we get down here, for God's sakes, people. This sliver of price here, 10 pip window. Really? You could have made 20, 30 pips on that. How many times you bounce up here and fail? Then we have the infamous trend line that don't work, but apparently it does. Got a trend line here, right? You're fucking nailing it, dude. Come on. Dude, it's banging on this trend line. Okay, it fails here. It's starting to go collapsing down. You buy at the market. You got to have a robot that's going to come in here and just fucking nail that at the market. Or you're going to nail it. Or you had so many fucking tickets on the this top was supposed to be a bottom. Right, this is supposed to be ultimate support. Really, what's going on is like the so-called banks are going to hunt your stops. And, oh, it's so hilarious, man. But yeah, I guess, right? Because if the stops are here from the guy that says they'll never touch my stop. Where's your stop? Down here. Shit, I got in here at the top, become a bottom. Jed told me to get in here. I got in like you told me right here, okay? I rode this fucker up, and then Jed said, well, don't move your stop. This thing's going on the moon. And as it walked down here, I'm like, really, Jed? You think so? Oh, yeah, well, for sure. You're fine. You're okay. You took small loss. You did what you're supposed to do. Should I have bought more here? Well, you could have. You could have bought more there, but you didn't have no indication here. You didn't see no, like, pin bar or like a... What are you waiting for on that one, right? Obviously, people are buying this whole crush here. Don't forget, we sold, I deleted everything, but we sold that very tippy top up here, that big screaming launching into no man's land on the top side. And once again, we will buy down here. It's a no-brainer trade. Anything below there I'm buying for the next day. I'll buy anything here. So more plunge. Where are the limits? Looking for them to smash it down. Sellers came in here. I guess they didn't even get it back to this big round number. People would have wished they could have got out there. That's where it became the triangle. took over. The classic triangle pattern where you draw a trend line here. Kind of a ascending pennant. Descending pennant. I don't know what the fuck. Just loss of volatility, right? 3 swing highs, kind of a failure here, shoulder. Okay, crushing down, fresh lows. People scalp to there. They're getting out. Right, the people that are like willing to take that. Okay, now you're going to put limits. Tomorrow's another day. Buying down here. That's how I like to do it. I don't want to sit there and fucking babysit these goddamn entries. This is a fair view, I suppose. We're looking back 7 days. What more do you need to know about these fucking markets? Seriously. The monthly doesn't matter. If you're a scalper on the 1 hour, if you just want to be in the market for 3 hours, you can see all the trades on here, right? You anticipate a crush into the vacuum. You're going to get on the fucking wagon at the market every chance you can get on breakouts. You're going to every excuse you can to get into that trade. If you're waiting for this confirmation where we break down, come back to the perfect setup, but not really, quite a stop hunt to here. Like this was the ultimate right here. This little 1 hour stop hunt and then just crush down. That's it. These little baby 1 hour bars. So this is a completely different view too. If we go to this view of it, it's more of a scalper's view, I think. Now we're going to buy in limits. I'm going to load the wagon from here all the way down for the next day. And I'm just going to accept the risk of scattering my orders. Hopefully something got out here. We ricocheted off this floor now. Here's, boom, a lot of people get out there. We see it pull back. Here's the next goal post for the bulls, and we're going to sell up on this top for the scalp. And a lot of people did buy this. Confirmation to hold the trade. We got a trend line here, first time. Possible trend line. And we have a kind of a doji, a small zigzag. And then we're just going to maybe just sit tight here, slightly long, more limits below. Waiting to pull the trigger at the market anytime it's down. If it's slightly down, we're going to buy with a tight stop. If it's big down, we buy with a wide stop. I don't want to chase it here with buy stops above that bar. Besides, the last hour is too big of a bar to put a breakout strategy in place. Or even really get into the market. We're waiting for the market to die down. If we add to this long, we don't want to overload it, so there could still be a raid to the downside. I'm going to crush north here. Breakout traders are on that one. The last hour was low volatility. Trend line held. And we don't want to chase it now. So if we're not in, I'm not buying anymore. Fuck it. Now, I just hate to say that because, sometimes this can be an amazing engulfment, but let's not bet against all these sell tickets up here. So a lot of people got out there because it was up. People just want to get binary trades off there. They sold because it closed up. Now they're hoping for a pullback. So are we. We're always going to be an eager buyer here. I'm always going to be the guy that's running the buy limit trailing stop hunt tickets. It's an obvious trade. Think about where your bulls have their stops. Place your orders there. If you think that's really who you're going to make money from is a goober, right? A retail goober. This idea that you're trading against the banks is hysterical. We can all see the voids in the market. We can all see the market for what it is. We know the rules of the road. It's over-the-counter trading. Anything can happen. So anybody could announce anything, right? If the Chinamen do something with the currency, like their reports affect the Australian dollar pretty harsh. Like you can see the Australian dollar just get annihilated from the Chinese news. But those voids have already been pent up and sitting there waiting to be smashed into. Those are just zones waiting to get smashed. Look at this. So we're getting filled in these buy limits now. The bears took advantage of this quietness here. I suppose the on closing prices only, we've got like a triangle. Okay, we would have bought this plunge, and we're scalped out, hopefully. The rule of thumb is that if you buy a void, you got to cash out when the void's been satisfied. It's kind of like, after like 3 dates, the relationship's over. It's a 3-date bottom. It's a triple test. Okay, now I'm waiting to get filled eagerly on all these insane orders. Now I'm going to put like insane orders down here. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. Now look at this picture. Imagine you'd sold up here, and look how you're just smashing into fresh lows here. Pretty insane. But it's an easy picture for me to see from here that this will always be a great place to buy. And as soon as we go from here to there, I'll just be a heavy buyer. Just pepper the orders wide now. Just wait. And then every hour it's down, buy one at the market. If they don't fill my limits, I want to start getting it at the market. I'm not waiting for that. So they're already trapped here. We should have had our biggest tickets right around here. And we're still waiting for the end of the hour to justify buying at the market. Maybe we got tickets here. So how big are you in and all that kind of stuff, that matters too. But, yeah. There is no rule that says you can't use the simplest, crudest indicator, but you couldn't use it for every... It's okay maybe for this trading at the market thing, but when it comes down to these pockets that are going to get filled, they're just going to get filled. And yes, it'll be quick and dirty, and it'll create a momentum spike. And yes, momentum algorithms can respond to that, and there's a trade plan for that. But it's different than the structure exit that is the nearly guaranteed closing value of the healing mechanism of price being shocked, and it needs to retrace. It needs to, well, it could just keep going. But at some point, even the depegging of Swiss franc engulfed the prior, where it fell off a cliff. So the fact that it dramatically fell off a cliff, it's not the thing. It's that it fell off a cliff and it actually healed and then took out the top. And it still had many moments when it was just noisy, rangy, right? Not really breakout territory. So not really the kind of clean breakouts you'd like to see on a breakout strategy where it's just a golden. This is why people love the Renko and the stuff that smooths it out. So the bricks, you're trading the bricks and you think, oh, this is just fucking, or the smooth Akinashi bullshit. And you have a view of, see now here, this to me is the closing trap. We close below here and we've got this thing where we trapped on close below. And I already know without using anything but a trend line that we have divergence because we're failing to meet new targets along this trend line. This is an obvious situation. Plus, we have the bonus of getting in even a better price later on. And in this lonely wick here is the ultimate on the 1 hour entry. So this is a textbook insane, has to hit this fucking, it has to. This is the last cranny on the chart. I mean, that's it. 8 pip window down here. They just boom. Now, according to No Nonsense Forest guy, that everybody is short into that because they're all losing traders. I guess the losing traders, right, are short into that, but what if they are buying into the plunge. I don't understand really what they're talking about, because somebody is buying this plunge and they've been wrong the whole time since the previous day. So at what point is somebody starting to really make money in this trade? We could see this from the standpoint of we just committed to buying this area, and we would exit here and hope maybe this one makes it all the way back to here. So we can see these two floors here. And that's the trade, and it's over. And you could have cashed out on shit here, don't forget. So this first bounce here, where we made it almost back to this price, but we only made it to here, and then it fell apart again. Here, once again, the trend traders and the breakout traders are waiting for this very small, like 4-hour consolidation. Now we're smashing into this hole that it formed because we went sideways so long. Okay, now the sellers, scalpers are selling that, and we would sell here at the end of the hour and all the way up here on limits now. Trying to get off little scalps off these tops. But yeah, everybody's probably going to get out at the end of this hour. And we'll see that insane end to the hour where it can whip back just the very tail, just before the bar closes. Of course, people have scalped already, see? Right at the end of right at the end of that, they came right back to here. Your classic invade the space, come back to the breakout. Confirmation people are coming in on the 5-minute, right? Because if it's a 5-minute pullback at the very end of that, there's a hard 5-minute bar down. Or maybe the last 10 minutes. And now here, just plunging north, and everybody's cashing out here. We'll see a reaction off of that. Pull back off of these double bottoms now. Retract. And this is where it's scary for the bears selling into that. You have to accept that you just got filled here. And you're going to take another 10 pips of punishment here. You really... Right? Because if you're going to sell into this, look at that. Autopilot. They're just filling. You're not even there. Now you're going to martingale in here. You're going to put like 40 standard lots right here. Here you put 300 standard lots. And here you're going to put 500 standard lots right here. So in one day you could make, if they fill you, okay, so you're only short here. No, you're waiting to scalp out. Here comes the bottom of the hour. Bam. Okay, so you sold at the market, plus you are, because it's up, you sold, plus you got in on your scalps, right? And you traded back to this rooftop, which is the whole reason you got into that trade, was based on this point. So you know that has to be your exit, and now you're flat on that. You had to take this much punishment, 10 pips of insanity, as you were watching that scream up there, also with your finger on the trigger, if you don't sleep, and you sold at the market. Now here come the buyers, the confirmation people. That's the breakout point. We pulled back, and they're going to get on the long train here. Now it gets all really kind of ridiculous. The breakout bots are not going to be feasting on this for a couple hours maybe, because it's not going to quiet down enough. And so I'm still waiting to get filled on more sell limits at this point. Hopefully I've cashed out of enough. I've still got a big pack of orders here and a big pack above this. Like, this is insane amount of tickets pending here. I'll start lightly selling into that at this point, and then here I just really overload it. And those are designed to exit pretty much back on that same support and resistance line. Okay, looking for it to break into that. I'm not going to buy here. I just don't feel, I never like to chase this thing. Just goes against my constitution. I'm not going to, my convention is that if it's up, sell at the end of the hour. Can't imagine buying here, even though it does look like we're just going to start crushing into those areas, And you just got to get used to the fact that these things happen all day long. 1 hour chart, let it run, put it on slow speed, run 3 of them on 3 demos, see how they're doing. I mean, if you really think that your system can survive that, you could even run Fibonacci's, right? Because you could just do some stupid fucking Fibonacci on this. And I'm sure there's a 3. I'm sure the 618, let me guess, here, right? It's a top become a bottom. This is, how about the 50% entry, right? The old 50% trick. We'll just get in here. So, but then again, what if you feel like, oh, you know what? This is hell bent on going up here. Let's buy in pullbacks every bit we can. Let's run trailing buy limits in here for right now. Right? Because what can you do about it now? Sure, maybe this is the ultimate buy. What if we never see this price? All right, this is why you have to chase in some regard. But volatility's drying up. It's time to start chasing. It's time to think about, what's going on? Nobody's coming in. Maybe we are going higher. And maybe I have to delete these tickets because I think, oh my God, they're going to take this out in a second. Then the pressure's really going to come in up here, and I have to have enough money available to sell heavy up here. And now maybe it got buy limits trailing here. And what if I am short from here? And this target, my target is here where the other guy wants to buy. I don't see why we would disagree. And whether the big banks are trading against, I just don't understand how people can think like that. It's just so retarded. I mean, yeah, there's people that are, like there are maybe little banks. I mean, what are they talking about? There are people on the other side of the trade. Yeah. And then of course here, it's just like this big void fill is formed, and we can't take it no lower. We're trapped below here on closing. This top becomes a bottom, and it just weasels out. It does come to this target, but now it's just crushing. Now we will sell here. Super heavy. Not even a chance to buy on the 1 hour pullback. That is a fierce fucking moving thing. So but I'm just going to sell up into that. If I'm not in the market yet, I'm selling now like this. Waiting for fills. And every hour it's up, I'll sell. So that's all I can do. You don't really have a choice, you know. I mean, you do have a choice, but you have all these different tactics you can use. 1 hour chart is definitely more work. But you know what? You would build a position on the 1 hour chart. You would look for this trend line to break. You'd say, yeah, I see the sellers coming in. I get what's going on. I can see that this is the volatility is drying up here on a closing basis. Yeah, it's getting very tight. It's the middle of the day. Something's got to give. And besides, we've made new lows. Are we going to keep tanking? And when the tanking dries up, because of that last little down wick, that's when you got to figure, well, you know, right here, this ultimate trap here, before it actually, if you bought this trap and you wade through here, here's where you could build a position on this little baby triangle, which is on closing prices is the, I'm seeing two auctions here. I see this one and I see the one inside here. When it comes down and it dips in that window, and when it dips in that, it's like a dual auction there. How do you call that? And then here it's like, holy shit, you know, this is like the most quietest point. And then wow, we scream, shear this off, shear that off. We just make mincemeat out of these fucking prices till we get in here. The pressure comes in, and here comes the range traders to fuck with it. And they've already hunted this stop. So we've seen this before. We know there's probably buyers here. We could put our tickets here. We could be where the smart money's buying here, you know. Smart money. But I guess it's ballsy money. We're going to just put limits here. And we still have sell limits here that haven't filled. But we're riding maybe some of those back. If we're the kind of the guy that sells this, yeah, we won't even be a winning trade until we can get below this now. If you sold this, and you sold everything here like crazy mad, and you were prepared to sell even higher, you are sitting on that now, hoping that, oh, maybe here, you're really bad. Your account's just up like 50% cash out, you know. Okay, that depends. How many because if you got carried away, right, you're so eager to see, oh, I can't wait till this fucking thing fills, and then they're done with that, and then they come back here. And this becomes the new fair value, possibly. Of course, the beauty of this structure trading is you don't have to worry about moving averages. You're literally kind of assuming that the market's trying to heal itself from being beat to shit on an hour-by-hour basis without regard to smoothing the data out. This, to me, is a little easier trading. It's grid trading, and you're just kind of grid trading it, right? You don't have to assume too much here, except how long will it take to get to that price? And do you want to have your tickets last all day there and capture some psycho range that you can't afford, and then it becomes a problem, right? You have no food to eat with or something. You've put all your money in the trading account and you overloaded what seemed like a good idea at the time. And here, on this chart, my God, look at the swings on this thing. Talk about psycho. Now, it does look bullish as fuck right now. Looking at this view, if I delete everything, you'd have to say that we're supposed to sell off hard here. We denied that, and now we are coming up on this window. Okay, so that was the weekend right there. We just came into the weekend. We're retesting the highs here. Maybe you're getting the fuck out here. So had you bought this trap down here, I'd have to say that would be you bought a new low, the previous day's low in a 10 pip window, and that's your strategy. You're going to buy the very lowest you can buy here. You had to take some heat, right? If you started buying here and gobbled up 2 days of prices and you swung traded to here, then or at least to here, or just to here, right? So if all you did was that, so this became a break even or better when it finally crushed to here, because you had a 100 pip stop on this one. And as you bought every hour, you bought here with 100 pip stop here. You didn't buy this up. You only bought these downs. You built a long position at the market, and you were getting filled on your limits, and then you had your refresher limits if you cashed out of something. And here you would have cashed out. Obviously, you knew buyers would probably come in here, right? And so if you could have gone flat here, because making it back to here was a miracle on earth, even though you did not take out the high of that day. You made it damn fucking close, and you're not always going to take out the high of the day. You're not always going to get that, like here, this low here was 2 days old, and this one was the oldest one. And we started to chop into these, we got a reaction off it. So you could have traded a dead cat bounce strategy there, pluck off a few pips, but the trend was going down from the kind of accumulation at the market. So selling into the trend line. Keep selling into the trend line or the moving average, whatever have you. You have to just keep accumulating that, right? Because you're trying to build and when you finally crush into this big hole that this, you have to think about, where's this thing going? Even though there's a dippity-do here that is an amazing scalp, right? You have an order bank here, and you're like, oh yeah, that's fucking stupid, right? That is like, I call that the tugboat trade. Little man that can. So in here is the tag to the 100 as you take out this little notch here from Asian or something session, and then rip back to structure of the wick there. Overshoots the runaway by 20 pips. Doesn't quite make it a close, and then kablam. Now it's a range trader's dream. Another kablam. Another range trader's dream. And then for us, on the stop hunt, we got this amazing, where we would really load the wagon is on this 1 hour wick bottom here, so we could buy very densely on the deepest of Jigsaw. Okay, so the Jigsaw trader, I don't know if it has a deeper color, but if I had Jigsaw indicator, it would have a very deep color for this vault here, right, for our tickets. And here's a not so deep. but we really buy a lot there. And we never got filled on, we only got filled on the very top of the rack. So another disappointing trade. And from that standpoint, it never made it back to this top. Very disappointing. Kind of just barely, right? But that was the window. And now here we crush north, and we will sell into this now, heavily into here for a pullback, heavily into there for a pullback. And then after that, God knows. But I definitely would have sold the market. I would have cashed out probably everything into this because this was looming. Most recent looming problem. Okay, that inventory crushed and gone, right? Sure finds a way. The market is it's looking for these little nooks and crannies, and once they're satisfied, like a little critter that's fed at the pond, it's going to come back to the other side, and it's trying to run across the road, and it's a natural insanity. And the sellers are up 10 fucking pips on this goddamn selling this little undercut up here. Looking back into the holes. So the next undercut's going to be here. Once again, we will buy like mad under here if we get it. But we would have bought a trailing scalp here. Hopefully we could scalp something off of that. So yeah, we would have bought at the market too if this was down. So we bought the market and we got a bonus because they filled our little trailing buy limits if we're bullish here. And it goes on and on and on. Anyway, I didn't want to leave you hanging on the last, hit the stop button. And I was like, holy shit. That's I wasn't done with my thought, damn it. So yeah, there you go. This is part 2.